Hello everyone and welcome to Homunculus Gaming. This is your weekly gaming news walkthrough. If this is your first time here and don't know how this business works, then you can click any gamer story on the screen right now and it will take you directly to that story. If you just want to come back to the menu and pick another one, you can click the menu button on the screen at any time. And if you want to be an educated type person and watch the entire thing through, but you just want to skip one story because you already know about it, then you can just click the next story button in the bottom left hand corner at any time to go to the next story. Alrighty, come on now, come on, we gotta get this show on the road. Lots of stuff to do, places to be, people to meet. Alright, you ready? Alright, let's go. The game in the background is Air Max. If you want to see my first impressions of it, there is a link in the description. What is cloud gaming? Well, cloud gaming is bankruptcy now. The cloud gaming service OnLive has sold for 4.8 million, which is nothing compared to what it was originally valued at for 2 billion. If you are fortunate to miss or survive the relentless onslaught of advertisements for OnLive here on the YouTubes, this is how OnLive worked. After paying for the service, all you would have to do is set up a small box on your HDTV or PC, and then over the internet, from OnLive servers, the game would be played and then streamed with full control to your computer. OnLive even got as far to develop their own controller designs and get deals with Google's Android. If you're just first hearing about this service for the first time, then it might seem like a really strange thing. But the demographic that this service is targeting is people with extremely good internet connections, usually in urbanized areas, but don't have enough money to pick up a gaming PC or console. This is kind of a strange and generally pretty small demographic. Additionally, something that doesn't help OnLive is that this console generation has gone on forever. Picking up a Wii 360 or PS3 or even a gaming PC of equivalent quality is not that expensive these days. Being able to stream an extremely high-def game across the states with that little delay is incredible technology. It's just unfortunate that maybe OnLive was just ahead of its time. OnLive probably would have been much more appealing if they could have just held out until the new console generation, where people want to play the games, but they don't want to drop however bazillion dollars that a new Xbox 720 or PS4 will be. And despite the emotional scarring that their relentless YouTube advertisement campaign gave me, OnLive is kind of a shame to see go under. It was a heck of a week if you're a fan of League of Legends. This segment is going to contain spoilers, so if you haven't watched the Season 2 World Finals yet, then you might want to mute right now, and then I'll give a little you can unmute in the bottom right hand corner when you're safe. This weekend, Riot Games held its World Finals for League of Legends in Los Angeles, California. First place was a whopping 1 million USD, and second place 250,000, third place 150,000. But the games were not without their fair share of controversy. For some moronic reason, the venue was set up where the players weren't in booths. For those of you that don't watch a lot of esports, players that are competing are often set in booths so they can't look around and see the venue screens where the other opponent's screen is being displayed so they can know what they're doing and, quite frankly, cheat. This actually occurred several times during the playoffs, but most notably in quarterfinal number 3 of Game 1 between Azubu Frost and TSM. Riot Games' official statement of what happened is AZF Wugong clearly turned his head to the right and looked back and upward at the venue screens. By looking at the venue screens, he gained a tactical advantage of learning where all the opposing team's champions were. Despite blatantly cheating, they still won the quarterfinals and proceeded into the finals. Upon further analysis, Riot Games decided to penalize the team, giving them a $30,000 fine, which will go to charities in Korea. At the end of the day, $30,000 is 20% of the team's winnings. Honestly, this is completely ridiculous and a disgrace to not only esports, but League of Legends and all fans of League of Legends. I understand $1 million is on the line and that's big, big money, especially when you're a pro gamer, but cheating blatantly at an event, that's just unbelievable that someone would even have the nerve to try something like that. But the players aren't solely responsible for this happening either. Riot Games, for those of you that don't know, is backed by extremely wealthy Chinese corporations and quite literally has more money than they know what to do with. The LA venue was packed. It was in a stadium and every single seat looked like it was sold out. Everything was there. TVs for the team logos, TVs everywhere, TVs displaying mini-maps. There were fireworks, pyrotechnics, they were throwing things in the crowd, giving things away. Riot had tons of stuff invested in this event. If you have enough money to add fireworks for when a team wins, then you have enough money to build booths so players aren't properly encased and aren't tempted to cheat. Riot should be ashamed of themselves, and Wuong should be ashamed of himself. If esports are ever going to be considered taken seriously by mainstream media, it has to stop. In my opinion, this should have been an instant DQ. If you're willing to cheat, you should just be sent home. That's it. If you're going to be unsportsmanlike, you're sent home. That's it. Zero tolerance policy. On a more uplifting side, and thank God, they didn't win and came in second place. The Taipei Assassins beat out Azubu Frost in the finals for $1 million. Riot has also announced that they are adding a LAN mode for League of Legends. Currently, League of Legends can only play it online even if you're sitting right next to the person you're playing with. They've stated that this mode will be used for tournaments, probably in response that during the World Playoffs there were numerous cutouts and times when players were disconnected. It hasn't been made clear yet if the mode will be available to the public. This week, Riot Games also released a pretty cool infographic detailing all the statistics about their game. There's a link in the description if you want to check it out, but some of the quickie cool facts are that there are over 70 million summoner names registered, over 3 million players playing at peak times compared to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3's 1.4 million, and that statistically speaking, League of Legends is the most played video game in the world. Now all they have to do is actually run a tournament properly. For some reason that I will never understand, EA has partnered with Fox to develop a TV adaptation of Battlefield Bad Company. They plan on the series being live action and something to the equivalent of a modern-day A-Team. I can't imagine this TV show would ever get good ratings or any sort of interest from the public. They probably already had the idea of doing a A-Team modern day knockoff, and then the hip marketing guy said, hey, you know what the kids like these days? They like that Battlefield. Let's put that in there, then we'll get the gamer demographic. It's very unlikely that this will ever actually come to fruition, thank God, but if it did, I don't know if I would even watch it. I would be kind of curious just to tune in and see how terrible it would be. I don't know, I might just morally object to them abusing a series like that, although it wasn't very good in the first place. Would you watch a Bad Company themed TV show? If so, why or why not? And if you wouldn't, which video game series do you think would make a good TV show? Leave me a comment below. A rumor is going around that some leaked space photos are actually from a game that Valve is developing. The project is allegedly called Stars of Barathrum. There's been a pretty sizable amount of images and concept art quote-unquote leaked. I hesitate to even believe for a minute that this is a real leak. If this was a real leak, I imagine Valve would have been on it in an instant. Valve would have had whoever leaked those photos in a prison, in a shower, bent over in a heartbeat, rather than them spread across the web with no sort of retaliation from Valve so far. Apparently, the game is supposed to be a space-faring open world sandbox where you are a privateer and create your own ship and make your way across the universe. My 2 cents is that there's 2 reasons these are out. 1, Valve intentionally leaked them to get more publicity and get more people's attention. Or 2, it's a prank or someone is trying to pretend to be Valve and it's not actually from them or a project they're working on. Or it could even be an old project they worked on and it's been abandoned and they only got through the concept art phase. Who's to say? Speaking of leaks, there's been quite the calamity when it comes to Halo 4. Around the internet, there are certain sites out there somewhere, intentionally left vague YouTube overlords, that you can download Halo 4 from. It's confirmed that this is the real game, not fake, and it's the full version. Additionally, you've probably noticed that there's been a heck of a lot of playthroughs and spoilers popping up all across the web for Halo 4. Director of 343 Industries, Frank O'Connor, responded to the leak by saying, quote, "There are people putting the whole thing on YouTube. Microsoft is addressing that in a single case at a time. It just takes a while to handle." Then said, quote, "This is how surprised I am about this," and shrugged his shoulders. Josh Holmes, the creative director for 343 Industries, posted on his personal Twitter, quote, "I've worked for over 3 years making Halo 4. Please avoid spoilers and leaks from thieves for 3 more weeks until the game is out. Thank you." Microsoft is not taking this sitting down as well. There's been numerous pictures posted all over the web of people who have been stupid enough to go online with a leaked copy of Halo 4 and consequently been permabanned from Xbox Live. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some serious data logging going on with torrent sites as well. Regardless, Halo 4 will be officially released on November 6th, 2012 in North America and EU, and November 8th in Japan. Not only did Borderlands 2 fans get a little bit of a love letter from Gearbox last week when the DLC class Necromancer was released a week early, it seems like Gearbox sent chocolate and flowers as well. The first story continuation DLC will be released next week on October 16th. The only information out there right now is that in some form you'll be able to play Captain Scarlet and her pirate booty. It is heavily NDA'd, so don't expect anything until it's actually released. The DLC will be available for $9.99 unless you have the DLC Season Pass, which is $29.99, in which you will receive it for free. Marcus Persson, more commonly known as Notch, the man behind Minecraft, has released footage of his new game. In the silent footage, he runs around his spaceship with different sorts of monitors, in which you are apparently a pilot of, shooting a laser gun and showing off the lighting effects. In an interview with PC Gamer, Notch is quoted as saying, "The goal is to have a feel a bit like Firefly. You can try to land on a planet, but you mess up, and instead of having the ship just explode like it would in real life, the landing gear gets broken. Then, you have to try and fix that by finding resources. Instead of the adventure being flying from here to here, it's I set the destination, oh god, I hit a small asteroid and the cloaking device broke. I think they really nailed that kind of emergent aspect in FTL." He was referring to the game Faster Than Light. If you're interested in checking it out, there's a link in the description you can see after finishing this video. The action role-playing horror game, The Walking Dead Episode 4, was released this week on Mac OS X, Windows, PS3, Xbox 360, and iOS. For those of you that don't know, The Walking Dead Episode 4 is an episodic point-and-click adventure based on the actual TV show The Walking Dead. You follow side characters mentioned in the main story of the TV show, and the game changes and the story changes depending on choices you make in the game. So if you're super into story games and point-and-click adventures, you might want to pick out the first couple and see if you like it. The Walking Dead Episode 5 has not been given an official release date, but it is speculated to be released in late November and early December. Following the disastrous release of Resident Evil 6 last week, someone managed to find DLC files on the disc. On-disc DLC, or before launch date DLC, is highly frowned upon by gamers, and there was a heck of a backlash to Capcom. This includes, but isn't limited to, a difficulty No Hope Left, and the option to play Ada Wong's campaign level in co-op. However, a patch is required to unlock this campaign. However though, Capcom has decided to wisen up. It's unclear if that's because of the backlash they received or if it was their plan from the start, but the DLC will be 100% free. Last Saturday morning, there was a gold rush for gamers. Origin, EA's digital distribution platform, was giving a $20 off code when a user completed a survey. However, if a game was $20 or less than $20, then the game was given to you free. Eventually, it was discovered that by logging out and then back in again, the code was able to be used once again. This, expectedly, resulted in a download spree, where many gamers flooded to the site and started downloading as many free games as they could. After an 18-hour shop-a-thon, EA finally realized the exploit and closed it off. Expectedly, there was very little to no remorse for what people had done, as EA is a very widely disliked company and has a notorious reputation for terrible customer service and interactions with its consumers. There was a bit of concern expressed if EA was going to start banning people who use the exploit, but on the 15th, EA released a statement that it will honor all sales made with the coupon code and not ban people who used it. There's been a new trailer released for SimCity. The retro-themed trailer goes through different types of disasters, as well as random disaster generation mechanics. The trailer uses real cities built by real people across the United States being destroyed, and the consequences of not building proper emergency and repair services in SimCity. If you're a SimCity fan, I would start to get excited. This one actually looks pretty good. As always, link in the description if you want to check it out. BioWare has announced the next DLC for Mass Effect 3, and it's the biggest one yet. Dubbed Omega, it will be coming out on November 27th and feature a new side storyline. I don't know about you, but I still have a bit of a sour taste in my mouth about giving BioWare money after the abomination that was Mass Effect 3's ending. Regardless, Omega will set you back 15 USD or 10 euros. The free-to-play mech combat game Hawken is going into closed beta. The beta will start on October 26th and go to October 29th. There's a link in the description where you can go and sign up. Well folks, that about does it for the news of this week. If you enjoyed this video, found it informative, or just killed a couple minutes at work, I'd really appreciate your like and favorite. If not, then leave me a comment letting me know why. If you want to see the first impressions video of the gameplay footage you've been watching this entire time, AirMech, then you can click that last video link there. Or if you missed the gaming news of last week and are a little bit behind, need to catch up, then you can click the link there. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you never want to miss another video and stay up to date on all the latest gaming news and content. As always though, thank you for watching. This was Homunculus Gaming, and I'll see you next time.